Is my chat thing gonna work? Come on, restream. Maybe not. I will go to Stream Manager then. Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Even though nobody's here yet, very likely, but we are broadcasting to the world. It's being recorded into servers. It's continuing to propagate no matter what we do, just about. So, beginning a artistic process or a game of chess is very much chat. I wish this worked. In the beginning, you marshal. There we go. It's an open chat. Okay, I think I can see chat now. And I want to go back, and what I'll do, I've been playing chess a little bit. Oh man, you're not letting me do anything. I guess I'll be over here with my chess. But in a chess game, let's do. I want to do first. I gotta clean up my links here. Shooby-doo. I'm still halfway moving. But I want to throw this together and get it proven out for myself. Practicing with this technology is very important. Because if you find yourself in a situation where you need to use it, which I am absolutely trying to get, the Pansy Gora together. Pansy Gora. Egora, like online, is the idea. Pans, like pan ownership, pans. I think the dialogue, this technology of streaming empowers the dialogue. We still have to bring an intent to constructively, take advantage of the opportunity to capitalize a term for you on there. I'm gonna let's hide this. Dun 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 bam bum bum bum. No. Bookmarks. Toolbar is hidden. Closed. Do 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 do. So I think what I can do here, I add a scene. Do, man. Yeah, promotions and those numbers, trying to pile up those numbers is just a waste of time at this point. I wouldn't suggest anybody that does that. What just happened in the chat? I did BAM, I think. I'm not even sure in this format. I don't know how it translates to YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. But if you are buying things to try to manipulate a social perception, then you're kind of a terrible human being. I hope you feel terrible at night because kids are really giving their heart to try to speak to somebody and they're judging their success based on what they witness. So when you buy those hundreds of viewers for these loser big streamers who are just feckless, feeble children, desperate for attention, um, you do a real damage to people, to children, to their self-esteem, to their entire worldview, and it's deplorable. It's absolutely deplorable. Um, Fuck everyone manipulating those numbers, receiving and whatever everything. It's a major way of taking advantage of the uninitiated. It's just tragedy. It's just flippin' tragedy. Why is this thing doing this to me? How are you not fitting? Okay. Let's fit. Now play. My turn. What I need to do, what I was doing is I began to speak there. Create new. And what I want is series here. Okay. Doo-doo. So if I take this, wait a minute. No, I don't want to just show a website. I need to cancel and delete that. I want to add a window capture. And then I want to put in a filter of crop pad. And I'm gonna take out not that much. That's good. Okay, we got this thing. Now I move it behind me so you can see the good part. I'm kidding. Kind of. Boom. You, me, I mean. I can do, what? What? No. You. So, to begin chess, oh, yep, I'm playing with Gnarly. My turn. And I should make a decent move here, probably. Parabole. It's a little risky because I expect him to just take my queen. Hopefully he's not in the chat. um, and I'm dropping frames, and we have Earth at 3 kilobit a second. Sounds good. Everything looks good. So, point is, you open that up, queen, queen. Notice my bishop here. I want to get out of here, but he's got 2 on this pawn, which is making my life difficult. If he takes it, which he can do, I've got to play. It's that gamble. We'll see what he does. So much of this comes down to confidence. I realized that a long time ago playing chess with a good friend of mine who's passed. God bless Chris, rest in peace. It was at my place in 837. I gotta stop playing this thing wasted. I gotta just get control of smoking because it really does make it a little bit dopey. It's hard to track everything. I've spent so much the last many years just putting cobwebs in my head. But I really like that with chess, I can practice these things, the chess things, like the puzzles, which I love. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Like right now, and I haven't played chess and this is a big thing that's changing for me right now is I haven't had many people who can play chess in my life. Especially not people who just play it well at all. Most people make obvious errors. So what I learned a long time ago is if you can look at all the different, it's a matter of like keeping some things in your head at once, but you got to get practiced at keeping an awareness that all the things will balance, are balanced, stay balanced. Okay. But I gotta do something here. Okay, you can't do anything. Saying that about this pawn. This pawn's stuck. Here, nothing meaningful. This would draw. They do this a lot. This would draw the king away, but the queen is still defending there, so that's not going to help me much. Usually, these moves will involve putting the king in check. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. And not lose the piece that does it. But there's other good moves. Usually it's like a pincer or some really obvious play. But I think what it's going to want me to do is pull it away. Because if I take that and then he steps away, queen here, he's in check. And he's going to go here or here. Because remember, I've no longer got this rook. Once the queen comes down here, it's clear here. If he's here, then we go down for checkmate. So he's got to go up. And because he's got to go up, then we take this, put him in check, forces the queen to take his queen. Bam. So it's pattern recognition. Chess, the game itself, is a very simplistic system. Um, there's only pieces can be locked out. Like I knew this pawn couldn't move. I knew this pawn couldn't move. So I've really only got other capacities. And these pawns back here can't move anywhere relevant to challenge the king. I can make an assumption in solving the puzzle, which you really have to get good at this. And it's about 3 or 4 moves usually. It's not, maybe when you get to like higher levels, it'll expect significantly more. But realizing what you got to do sometimes is really hard. Um, Excellent chance to practice real logic. But even better than this, I got a membership to the game, and I lost, which sucked. I got to stop, you know, playing while I'm wasted. But who cares? It doesn't matter. Screw a ranking, right? I don't care about a ranking. And I don't want to become so practiced in chess that it becomes formulaic for me, that I get a routine. I mean, you have a balance there because you want to have your fundamentals routine. You want to be not thinking about your fundamentals. But at the same time, you don't want to get your advanced to be routine because then you spend all that time in the advanced space, it becomes routine, and you forget how to learn. The value of the game is actually that it forces us to humble ourselves and continue learning. That's what makes a gamer, really. I mean, you want to talk about the fundamental base culture of Twitch, which I don't have anything to do with. I don't even like it. The idea that there's like this technology is only used for gaming. No, no, that's ridiculous. Okay, these people, just because they're like sitting here like taking stimulants and aiming at something and pressing a mouse, that doesn't make you a thinker, right? It doesn't drive your brain to do anything except for get like a little bit faster of a reaction. Guess what, everybody? Like, a machine's got 1,000 times what you ever will. Ever. You will never be competition. You just cannot simply, as a human being, be a mechanical competitor anymore. Period. Michael Phelps can't beat a goddamn boat. Okay? So it's that extreme. And even in every arena, even thought, it's about to become that way. So we're running out of time to practice. We're running out of time to develop that intellect. For me, as someone who developed, as a young person, I developed seriously in chess, things that I haven't been able to use for many years. And I'm practicing it again to try to like reawaken and get back to activity. It's one of the reasons why I'm in such a low overhead moment, between exercise and being able to do this. Let me do this too, because I want to give myself a bit more space. But between exercise and mental exercise, the body is developing muscles, developing neurons, developing neural pathways. There's still things to learn. And learning itself at a meta level is a matter of finding a new system to decode. Chess has not been a new system for me, and socially speaking, it's actually an impediment. When you are dominant, when you are totally dominant in the game, people don't have any, when you just like manhandle your opposition, you know what I mean? The game departs the board. Once you make it clear the other person stands no chance, they start trying to figure out a way around, how they're going to get at the pie. It's one of the reasons why I move as fast as I do. It's one of the reasons why it's very hard to understand what I'm doing socially, because understanding this, when I became more of like an activist catalyst, I'd say when I was like in my early 20s, I realized that, you entering a community, you have actually a very powerful potential. On entry, you get most attention. Everybody is looking at you, right? And in their digestion of a new entry, they tell you everything. Okay? If they are strong and healthy and vital, they've got patience, they've got compassion, they can work their way through it. If on the other hand, they are desperate scam artists, what makes them scam artists is the desperation. There is survival imperative. And if you imagine yourself smart enough to cheat the system, keep trying. But it's really easy to outposition mental children. You don't ever have to introduce your ego. You can walk in with a aloof elitism. Not that that's healthy. It's not good for you, even. It's dangerous territory, okay? You becoming this way, and in the same sense of when chess becomes routine, I have to get out of it. But transitioning from a community organizer to a community agitator, for me, because I'm tired of the lazy. I'm just super tired of the lazy. I'm tired of the sloppy. I'm tired of the ridiculous. We really have a potential and a responsibility to do better in fucking everything. And people are either gonna help with that, or I'm gonna be myself. Myself being very rigidly logical, and I just disconnect. I build up a cocoon. Like right now, I'm in a room that has all the stuff that I think I need. For a minute, anyways, a couple months, I will be able to work on my wellness, zero in, keep a very, very tight orbit constantly. I'm going to hit the exercise thing 4 or 5 times a day. I want to be doing every exercise that I do, which is the yoga roller, the hula hoop, the hanging structure, the barbell, and a massager. I want to hit those 4 times a day. It's like an hour 4 times a day. And if I was to be driving to a gym, for example, that would be 8 trips and 2 hours in travel time. I'm not really in a very tight environment. I'm a little bit out now, but the point is when it's 20 feet away, when I walk right past it and I see it, and I it reminds me of the intention to do something. Like, imagine we are actually in a culture where we have serious issues um, communicating well, coming to an accord, being productive. We have become so used to kicking the can down the road, we unconsciously do so. And we're now in a moment where that's not gonna work. So, is that something on that lens? No, that's light hitting the edge of it. So, we need this Igora. We need a space to talk, whatever, and you can just make your own. Anyways, we should all be doing this, I think. You should be getting online and talking. We have this ridiculous Western narrative about humility. Everybody wants a false humility to be demonstrated constantly. It's really just reduction to the mean. It's very well articulated by Nietzsche in the slave morality and their impulse to destroy everything, and because they're just really unhappy with life. As I understand it, I just pity them, right? I'm sorry that your life sucks, I guess. But if you notice, I'm the guy who's actually advocating that we do something different and maybe stop leaving all these assholes behind. I gotta call them assholes when they are assholes, and it's like a public service. I'm happy to, honestly, that is my nature. And talk it. Don't physically assault someone. I've got family that I care about that made their reputation fighting. Live by the sword is a real thing. But it's not the sword itself these days. It's exploitation at all. You live by taking advantage of young girls, get one of them calls the police on you and ruins your life that quickly. Thought being a big man flying her around. Andrew Tate is now in Romanian prison. International sex trafficker. Smart guy. Not a fighter, not a gamer. When you make a choice and you look at it, we need to identify it and break it down. And this is where AI is really changing the game. So let me do my Coach David bot. So with the coach AIs, I can take the move back and it is lame right now. This is not competitive, but I'm reawakening, so I need to spend some time jogging. You know, do wait, what? Okay, I don't want to check out the bot. I want to check out the game. Download? What? Okay. So it has this analysis when you sign up for it, which is kind of expensive, but I mean it's like 15 bucks a month, I think, but this is better than college because this is irrefutable. It's fucking true. And there's been times where I've called bullshit on puzzles and stuff like that, but the way that it gives you advice is different. So, I mean, they give you a whole ranking for every move. Let's see here, guys. Check it out. Check it out. And the thing, we're coming into an era of optimization. So the practice of chess is, I think, very, very much what it should be. So it'll automatically go to key moves. Book moves, like here, c6 is the last book move. All the starting couple moves in chess they're called book moves. There's no such thing as a book move in Go. The game is too complex for book moves, quote unquote. You know, I mean, it has a couple of like standard things, but there's not like stratagems to the extent that they apply in chess. Okay, moves happen. Tells you why. DX5 is good, and I can move them step by step. So he attacked my pawn. I move my knight up. Let's go all the way back. King pawn forward. That's the standard best book move. Gives you a lot of control in the middle, establishes position, and it's a piece that you're not too worried about. Marshalling troops. These are marshalling, the moment of marshalling, but there's two different pieces. So, you know, I get pressure to start a business and do the things that I want to do in that sense. But it starts for me because of how I work, marshaling that village, getting the people together, and it's long-term interaction where keep the harmony. That's what you got to do. And the challenge to you is going to be specific to you, but it doesn't matter. Keep the harmony. The challenges are not necessarily engineered, introduced, and targeted at you. Challenges are a constant fucking thing. And most challenges are made challenges because of an ignorant perspective, which does not understand how to decode the challenge and find the move. How did that fall off? Lighting problems. Okay, I got an idea here. What I really should do, you know, maybe we can drop those too. I think if I click here. Oh no. Just want to make sure that I'm not operating in error in case somebody is hanging around. Why isn't it showing me the chat? What the hell? There. It didn't block it? Now he's banned. Anyways. Chess is a very simple microcosm. Life is not. Social situations are not. And we were talking about something maybe important. I don't know. Marshalling troops being important. The Agora being, the point is the Agora is just a playground. Play in the playground, and you might graduate to something very different. And I'm not promising anything to anybody. This is not something for people who are desperate. Okay? You got to be, if you're not capable enough to be comfortable enough in life, if you're not humble enough to make calls like what I just did, where I'm living with family for now. And that is not the same as living alone. Some people really think that's lazy. If I was doing nothing, absolutely, that would be lazy. I still have serious ambition, and I'm trying to work this giant thing. And ultimately, when you're trying to get people together, different people have different needs at times. Sometimes they all have a need suddenly, and if that happens, you've got to be available. You've got to be. I can't be, stuck in the middle of coding a machine to get something done. It's if I take that job, I'm not available if the community shows up. But this group is very focused on the Stoic ideal, on excellence, right? Strength is important around the truth. Let's be rigid with ourselves. Let's humble ourselves and our ego until we can find a meaningful truth. And I think that through that practice, character is built. We smith character. We build it out of the struggles that we go through. And when the struggle is who's going to shout the loudest or who's going to punch each other in the head the most, everybody gets concussions. Everybody gets fucked up. At the end of the day, the whole community is fucking worthless. On a global stage, surrounded by AI, you're going to fucking show up and talk. So, the only reason dickheads like Tate could do what they did now and they didn't do it before is the broadcasting became basically free. If Mike Tyson would have had streaming when he was in his 20s, you better fucking believe you would have seen some wild shit. And in that era, he wouldn't have gotten caught. He would have totally skated. So many people did. That's a true fucking statement. Culture has changed quite a bit, and I'm someone who spans the generations. I hang out a lot with seniors. Not a lot of Gen Xers, more boomers. I don't know why that is. In masonry, there's a couple Xers, but there's just not many Xers around. Now that I think about it, I just don't think that boomers had a unique potential to arrive at a life in certain settings and certain positions because they were living during the expansion, the primary stage of expansion. And there's so many ways in which the system is designed to benefit the holders, and they want to become a holder, and they tell look at me, I should be a holder. I don't need to own land to be happy. I do have a dream in the future of a private spot, maybe even a family, on an eco village though, like with neighbors who we talk to, who we often have meals with, who we share a common meeting ground with, a third space where people can interact. And the Agora is intended to be a third space, it's meant to be like a hangout, but one that's not so focused as everything is now on anxiety reduction, on let's not let's not pull punches too much. It's a matter of respecting each other. Um, like at the end of the day, do we want to be able to present ourselves online and talk at a reasonable global level? Because believe, as you grow up, you're going to realize things that you did before were just kind of dumb and kind of embarrassing, right? If you know much about toddlers, they do all sorts of embarrassing stuff. They're just learning society. You know what I mean? And in a similar sense, in this moment, we've got a lot of young people who are just touching themselves and carrying on ridiculous routine on camera that will never be erased. Judgments change. Data doesn't. And there's data all around us probably getting a significant amount of scope on everything that we not only do but don't do. Look, if you were to play chess, let's see if I can find a good example. Actually, it's easy. I just got to go to one of these problem things. So book move. He moves up to attack my pawn. I move my pawn up to defend it. Okay, book move. He attacks the pawn with his other pawn. Oh, geez. Get better at this opening. It's the last book move. So it's showing you how to improve. I haven't even followed this yet. This is a first for me. I will come back and do this, but first, wait, what happened? Okay. So this kicks an opposing knight. So while it, right here, this is the AI telling me that is an equal trade, but it would have been better to push up is best. So if he had gone on the green arrow, it would have challenged my knight, and as they say, kicked it. I like that term because the pawns and their short range and everything, and you get up close and you can, it's like you can get, you're inside its range. So is excellent. XE5 is best. Oh, taking it with my knight would have been better. Why? Oh, because it wouldn't have opened up my queen, probably. See, that's what the AI always does this. Like whenever I get the chance, and this is something that we never did growing up. In my family, I was my older brother and my dad played chess, and I was 4 years old when I started playing chess. And the couple of precepts that I was given, which work well enough to compete in society, but are not optimized. I don't want to do equal trades. I'm conditioned not to do an equal trade. I'm going to wait until I have an advantage. It says this is the best move because it's a good trade. I'll let them make the move to force that trade because I would never just initiate that. I'm always trying to manifest more to find situations where I can pinch, attack, go between, what is it? Yeah, pincer attack is 2 going at 1. I want to do forks. Is it forks? What do they call it? It'll tell you. Just getting back into it. So, is a mistake and would have ended up with more, because here it's a mistake because now I've uncovered my pawn. But, oh, stop, 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 stop. Damn it. The computer does not take the advantage. And this is a bot that's, what, 1600 difficulty bot. So it overlooked the advantage. That is a massive overlook. Okay? To have a free piece that you can take and they can't do anything about it, your knight can just dance away afterwards, to miss this move, I consider incredibly remedial. By my rules. AI doesn't know my rules. So when it induces error, it does so in sort of nonsense ways like that. It's just that is just a engineered kindness, and I can empathize with that. Because if the average, even to see it, and what I got to do is keep pushing up. 1600 is a pretty serious bot, I think, but I got to push up to higher bots. But that's what I want to be. I want to do the best. It's not about, am I better than you? I don't give a shit how good you are, okay? This game is fucking meaningless. It's a canvas which, if you can manage this canvas, you have a chance of managing a larger canvas. If this is frustrating to you, you're not really a thinker. Okay? You're not really a gamer. And not to say that, I shouldn't say chess should not have a monopoly on gaming, but the process, if you are not learning, if you don't have a cultural routine of learning, that is what a gamer is made of, is learning, adapting, in my opinion. What do I know? But I mean, and that's the thing, is in the Agora, come and argue with me. Is it just the simple act of playing a game that makes you a gamer? You spend time doing it. Is the simple act of making pottery make you a craftsperson? Is all pottery created the same? You know, there's differences in the quality of the pottery. Everything is a spectrum of grays, right? Anyways, sheer kindness, ridiculous kindness, incredible oversight. Thank you, AI. You're very kind. All right, I'm gonna defend it. It says, move back, move my knight right back. The thing is that I like a stable defensive thing. This leaves my knight free to operate while it's still doing that. But when I was on top of it years ago, if you don't have a need to defend it, you don't. And there, see here, I've got one additional space where maybe, and that was I thought he might come in, and I just like this line. It makes me feel good. But if this was here, then I'm attacking these two additional spaces. It's a lot more dangerous. It's a lot more mobile, because right now I'm not threatening his home base at all. So it says that is excellent, but I don't know why. H5 is best. No idea why he should advance the pawn. Ew. It's an inaccuracy. Why do you say that? I don't like that. But so, point is, you just gotta understand that it doesn't like it. I guess it didn't really accomplish any. Well, no, it doesn't accomplish anything. I was just taking real estate, and the idea that controlling the middle is a good idea, which is something that I have I read a long time ago. I've read like one chess book in my life. The rules are just kind of cumbersome, the suggestions they have and stuff. But do develop bishop. It really wants him to move that pawn forward. What in the world is going on here? So, as I said, the puzzles that I was looking at are usually like a total of 3 moves, and I was able to sort out that puzzle by looking at it. Here, do you even know what this is for? What's the next move? I gotta do a puzzle to figure out what the next move is. I don't know why it's so important to defend that pawn. Nothing's, just the one knight is challenging it, and it's defended already by another knight. So why would you move your bishop from here to here? That makes no fucking sense. Why would you not go here and put him in check? I don't know what. The only thing that it did, even marginally, was give the bishop somewhere to retreat. And once the bishop retreats, what the hell? Why? 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 It's got freaking opportunity here. I think. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, go all the way back. And this is what optimizing is like. It's recursive, okay? You have to pay attention to what the fuck you're doing. You got to start with intention. Got to start with a real purpose. The purpose is to win. To optimize is the overall meta here. That fucking early. It wanted a different move, and it tracks 8 to 19. That's 11, 22 moves. Oh, no. 11 moves. I don't know why. Castle. That's castling. Okay. There's a 3 O's. Bishop to f6. Okay. Anyways, it's very high level, complex logic, and I shouldn't expect to know it right away. And I'm not embarrassed to be on camera and not understand it. It's not something like opinion. I'm not trying to predict where people are going to vote. Because if I stand in front of 50 people and I tell them I know which way they're going to vote, they're probably just going to like shut me down. They have will still. They have the ability to adapt. So silence and the effective application of silence is very, very important. Anyways, we'll go back. Okay, that's what you wanted. The bishop goes up, but it should have been the pawn. And so now I finally bring the knight up, but now it wants me to develop my bishop here, which that could have been done at any time. It's strange how a couple moves later suddenly it wants me to do, but there's the thing to understand is chess is fully modeled by AI, way past the level of any practiced human. Um, so don't try to compete with that. It's like trying to compete with a bulldozer in pushing things, or a submarine or a boat with swimming. Don't. You're not gonna win. Don't bet on that shit. Okay, now it moves up, but it wants the other one to move up. So to understand that it's looking, 20 moves ahead, and it's got everything broken down to very simple rules. You just kind of got to listen to it. I look at what it suggests. Move the knight in front of the pawn if it gets up there. That's an interest, but I don't like the knight. Then the bishop will come after me. Pawns are just so obvious to move, but it says to do that. And it's not like he can get out, you know what I mean? From here, then the bishop can come here and challenge that, but then his pawn can move up. That seems like a waste, Now here, I mean, it just told you to move this pawn forward. Doing this, the pawn can't even move. You're binding yourself up. So how does the strategy switch to that? I mean, but it probably does. I don't know if I'll ever get that good. I don't care to. It doesn't matter. I just need to give my body the stimulus that tells it that I got to keep learning. And the thing about panels inside that community is for young people. That is a very key part of encouraging them to invest in it. They have to have some sort of social gratification to feel fulfilled by the practice. How we behave towards each other and why it is that keeping everything harmonious is so important to me. It's about making it safe for the most marginalized among us. And if it's not, then I'm not too about supporting it. And if I'm not there to support it, then I just get more forceful and have fun while I'm bored. Ultimately, though, the vibe is real. If you get actual heads together, thinking and working, we start solving problems. Our lives get simpler. We find ourselves in moments of freedom because I have a large family that could do the exact same thing that I'm doing. Nobody else does. They choose not to. They're fed ambition, and they get things that ultimately bleed them near to death. God, and you run into them years later, and they're all like, "How did you know?" It's like it wasn't hard. No part about understanding any of this was ever all that difficult. D4 is an inaccuracy. I should have moved my pawn up to attack. Yeah, that would have been good. I like that. And yeah, this doesn't do anything important. It just manifests the truth. This is marshaling. You can over marshal, right? But you're starting with 16 people here. Jesus only had 12. That's get your crew, and that crew should be people who can interact on a near constant basis on a good, healthy level. I'm not here to judge individuals. I don't care. You just contribute in good faith from your perspective, or you're disruptive, and we can't make music. Let's make real music that really makes things better for people. Yes, the bishop going back is necessary because now I have a pincer move. That's a nice, and see, there's nothing better than that. I'm getting a free rook. King moves, and he should have moved closer so that my knight couldn't escape, and it would have threatened my knight, which forced it. My knight taking the rook is best. Obvious, and see that it confirmed. These are fundamental rules, given by points. If you're familiar with chess, you know that different parts have different points. The rook is worth 5, pawn's worth 1. I think it's 3 for the knight and the bishop. If you have a chance to trade lower for greater points, then do it. That's when I'm wanting to make the trade, and I want to prolong the game even until I can figure out a way to, line them all up and knock it out. And there, you not only cover the base, but you also have now a knight to, the knight can also move out, sort of thing. So yeah, it'd be better. Yeah, I got a best move. That's nice. B3 is best. And see, that's the amazing thing. Now black can't stop white from winning a knight if they make the right moves. How does that make sense? Because, I mean, I can just go out to here. From here, I'm under risk from these two. What does that do? That has to do with the knight. I don't know. Because being present doesn't stop the knight's motion. And none of that helps that I can see. Anyways, let's go back, as I promised. And here, of course. You're kidding. So, Nimwizish defense. And as I browse, not you. So, just Wikipedia, looking it up. And I'll remove that left. Got it. E4 and C6. Hyper modern opening. Hyper modern. Chess is hyper modern now, you guys. But the point is, I was conditioned to play chess the way that I play it. It's not the best way possible. There's just, we're making incremental sorts of gains, but the point is, once you formalize and incorporate those into your process, you don't slip again, and slip on things like, toxic waste dumps, shit like that, real world things. At some point, we got to start addressing, right? I think, anyways. Free this. A little bit of food will help. D5 or E5? Can't even read this stuff. Maybe because it starts E5. So advance the pawn. The rook. If the rook takes it, we'll take the... Wait. What? Three Fs. What the hell? As you see, I haven't studied this shit for a long time. Learning the language here. Which black meets? B F5? What the fuck does that mean? Hmm. So, YouTube it. All it is a simplification of the system. It's a very advanced rule of thumb. If you try to use it, and the other side knows it, they can exploit that. If you use it, you must also consider not using it. Because if they understand it, they're going to be able to counter you. They understand your approach. Foresight is the greatest superpower. So when you start getting introduced to an idea like that, you start hammering it. I'm not trying to become a chess contender. No human being can ever be a chess contender. No more am I trying to be a chess contender. Am I trying to compete against racing boats while swimming? It's that obtuse. Doesn't mean there's not value in practice and play. tremendous amount of value and all that. In my opinion. So they tried to sell a class. Never. I'm never gonna buy that. Don't play for classes. They're on YouTube. They're free online. There's no fucking topic that's not already online that I'm aware of. If somebody finds one, let me know. And we can take a wager on how long it will be before it is online. The rate of growth is incredible. Knowledge which is in books, which has never been formally presented online, AI is about to incorporate. And a rose by any name. Still snow. So sweet. Weak move. Whoa. I like that. Oh, you can't see it. Do I have another? Yeah. But yeah, so while I'm doing this, in addition to that, like internal focus of getting on top of my wellness, even though my beard's not as dark as it used to be. I'm getting old. But yeah, finding community to work with this stuff on is very much my priority right now. I'm on the sideline. Besides the working out stuff, which I talked to several streamers about this recently. Saddle stool. This thing is so smart, much more natural, and I can get rid of it. Do my deep squats today. Always gotta wake up your hips. And your back, your neck. My body's recovering from the move. Set up a couple lurks. But yeah, I gotta go out tonight. Do some in real life networking. I just don't expect to get the spread in real life. And like I said, it's not many people have the time anyways to think. But we need to get thinkers together to stop the future from burning. You know, begin experimenting humbly. Let's find better ways to live. We improve people's standard of living while reducing cost. That's just super good. Pretty happy about that, honestly. Got potential. Now they got moved over. So yeah, if anybody wants to catch up with me, finding me live isn't that easy because I don't keep a regular schedule. I'm free to float, guys. Why would I lock myself down? I think a lot of streamers worry too much about old school marketing bullshit. Had a young lady say that she was unprofessional because she was slept in. One time, it was a national sales meeting. There were a couple Gen Xers there, older ones. In that environment, I mean, I guess talk to. But everybody was beat down. So we'd go out to like Raleigh, like 300 heads. And the company would show up. All on company dime, mind you. So you might expect that when you're spending $300 a night for your hotel with a rental car after they flew you out and like a $60 per diem, if not unlimited, you should show up to the meeting. It's a balance though. I'm much better at the late night bar team building. So a few $100 to the bar, close it down, piss drunk. I missed whole days of those meetings, conventions and shit. My friends, guys I knew would be like working them. I'd piggyback as a sales thing, right? And they got to go work the stand. But I sleep all day. Catch up at like 5. Do it again. And people older than me would do that. When it's the company dime and they're away from their families, everybody is their chance to really let go. For me, I can do that all the time. I sold the world. Never lost control. Because I was thinking about humility is, it's chosen. I could just buy a house. But why? Maintenance bleeds you dry. Figure out some way to mix and connect. The fundamental truth is that during decline, which we have been in for at least 30 years in the Midwest, play the game Not so much by growing your top number. Focus instead on reducing your bottom number. Reducing the bottom number, your expenses. Overhead is the bottom number. It's a ratio. If the ratio is 1 to 1, you're not saving. If it's negative, your financial situation worsens and worsens and worsens over time. I aim for like a 7 over 1. And I beat that. Not right now. I got no steady stream of income right now. But I had 7 over 1. Drop that 7 to 0. If you take that and whatever it is, say drop it really low, not to 0, but point is you're losing money from savings. So it's not just 7. That's the income plus wealth. I'm actually eating away at wealth. But it's all fucking monopoly money. It means to an end. And at this point in my life, I have to figure out what that end is going to be. It's not going to be from a superficial, shallow perspective. I want to join a whole community. And everybody in that community is going to behave really different than how people develop and behave in typical Western society across chat, all that. This is just mimicking television. That's just basic. Mimicking is where you start. Once you mimic in real settings that you're actually running, you realize that playing games like that set you back ultimately. Approach everything completely square if you can. I try to. If I fall off, let me know. So, on that tilt about the learning, maybe I have more learning to do. Like, right now I've got about 8 bots in my chat. If there was 10, everything would change. It would be a much more effective net capturing the uninitiated. That's not who I'm aiming for. For the initiated to find it out, they might respond like me. So a lot of guys who never really had real influence over a community. I spent some years having real influence. I was able to, and I did. I pushed around the environment to make it safer for the young people and the innocents, to make it more harmonious, to make the music better. The music was great. God, I loved it. We just weren't enough, considering all the headwinds. We weren't making progress. And those headwinds now are just that much greater. I have a lot of personal bitterness because I much rather would have had a life where I go at the end of the day to some people. But people who aren't gonna, on getting access to that power, just go wild. Having money is easy when you're responsible with your spend. I'm extremely conservative fiscally. And the real impact of the presence of a partner is what they choose to make it. My table is covered. Everybody at my table eats whatever they want. That's why you deal with it. At least ideally. I don't know how to put that value online. You don't have to deal with it. People make their choices, and I'll leave the community to make their choice. And in their choice, you will find their karma, their future, their really a definition of their character, which it's all fodder for the bots to even witness. It's understood. Bots are watching you witness. Bots are listening to me speak. There is a karmic balance to everything. When you use the exploits, you're not trustworthy. And for a machine, that goes doubly. The more conscious you appear, the more you try to be a power player, the more you and I are going to have words in a way, around the way. The humble pass straight through. And that's all so we can keep a good environment for everybody, everyone involved. Tired of holding myself back for people who don't even have the character to respect all the time and energy I've invested in them. You can't ask for too much from the wounded. And everybody's wounded now. Just about everybody was coached into making mistakes. You work so long to spend all your money on what? Try to compare that to the results that I'm kicking, where years of becoming smarter. I study every day. Not just chess. Usually it's science, and cosmos, and some philosophy, maybe, although I haven't seen much new in philosophy for a long time. Cultural understandings are good, unless a Navajo teacher talk. A broad spectrum. You don't have to diligently, I don't have to repeat it to anybody. It's not about having a test. It's about daily tickling that process. Same thing with your muscles, with your brain. And if you do it 3-4 times a day, your body will stay alert and active, capable. If you do not learn, it's a long, slow decline. Do not let go of your neuroplasticity. Grow it every day. And you won't get a lot of results that people don't like. Being alone is not near as stressful as being with someone who does not want to harmonize with you. very simple. Get past the gender binary norm that we came from and look at a human being as a human being. Realize they have the same need for dignity that you do. Realize that any stereotyping or generalizations inside of a relationship are fundamentally dehumanizing. And once you have someone in your life as a partner, as I do, I am susceptible. I'm afraid of giving a woman that power for good reason. Many men did, and I just slap them around because at the moment we're face to face, it's like, what have you done with your life? Are you capable yet? They do all this work to translate into a house, a boat, kids. And yes, kids are important. That's why we put them in cages and, send guys with assault rifles into their buildings over and over again. We're not really behaving in accordance with just sane values anymore. So to actually care about young people and the struggles that they have, that you have to care about the whole future. And we got to make a balanced future where we're investing in a better manner, where we're not throwing fortunes away as a matter of course. I threw a lot away moving out. I didn't want to do that. I'm glad it's over. And I'm still gonna throw more away. I still got way too many clothes. I just buy clothes and pile them up. I hate throwing everything away. And oh, my style together yet. I'm gonna work on my wardrobe. This time maybe I figure out how to really present myself. That way, and this is the way I said it. My like how naturally adapted I am to cold interaction. I was 20 and I was working at a gas station, and a little blonde Russian came in with her sister. And she was buying cigarettes. She had just turned 18. I think I was 20. And she gave me her ID. She was 18, and in her ID, her hair was blonde and she had dyed it black. And I knew what I was, God, I was so successful. When I was at that point in time, I was having, I was sleeping around constantly. Anyways, I told her I didn't like her. Her hair looked better in her driver's license. And I did that. And that was the only thing. It's do it quick, knock it in, smile, giggle, take the money, do the transaction. She leaves. Um, she chased me down. She came to the restaurant. She came to the gas station to tell me she liked me. Like 18-year-old spit, 100 pounds maybe. She knew who I was because I was throwing shows already. Everybody knew who I was in that town, in that high school rather, because every band was coming to what was my business. So she would try to tell me what it was like in Russia, and she just behaved in that way. Like she just loved to tease for hours and hours, and I didn't mind it. It honestly did feel like I was learning how to interact. Not necessarily in a healthy way. I'm not saying that. And I had other relationships that were much more compassionate, meaningful, profound. intimate. But when people are made second class in society, they figure out how to survive. They have a right to survive. I don't think it's high enough resolution to deal with this. But like, as some people would call them, I wouldn't typically, but I'll use this term to try to communicate clearly. Thirst traps. People may wonder why it is that I spend a lot of time around thirst traps. Not because I'm thirsty. Thirst traps are where the thirsty tend to go. Interaction with those, they're the ones most likely to be incels, right? You go towards the problems, and guys, as they struggle, will honestly, it's just such an abusive norm around them to just be genuinely supportive. It's such a pleasure to support young artists, even older artists. God bless the streams that I go into. I hope you guys all have good times. But in building this community and all that, the reality is it's 90% of everyone is just at this really absurdly low level of development. And the easiest way to gather them in is to march a pretty girl past them. It's just a reality of promotions that sex sells. Some image, some idea of reaching that goal and it being incredible. Once you've reached the goal enough, which maybe I have. Point is, once you've tasted it 10, 15 times, you get used to the taste. You realize it's just another flavor for that moment. It could be anything else. And in a culture where subjugated people, there's a culture of subjugation that is our current understanding. And there's an attempt to buck it, which is great. Knock it out. I'm happy about that. I want to stop exploitation. Just because I look this way in these spaces, just because I support, does not mean everybody there's the exact same person. And going in, being positive, supporting the environment, hopefully, it's just the obvious way to communicate with people, obviously. What the hell? I've got guys that give me good conversation, much better conversation than I can have with anyone in a many streams. You just need one person who's like marginally intelligent, right? I want to make a space where the whole space is rabidly intelligent, like able to represent humanity against infinite AI antagonists. You got to have your fundamentals solid. You can't be making dumb moves. And understanding what you intend and how to protect it is much easier with a formal approach. We got to get it to where it's knee-jerk to do the necessary actions to cut loose and not get dragged down the toilet. because I can't imagine, no one can imagine all the exploits that are about to start happening. Your ability to disconnect every link. You can't get scammed on your mortgage if you don't buy a house. You can't be struggling with your plumbing when you don't have any. Everything you think you own in a major way owns you. Are you strong enough to let go? Do you have the faith that you will find more in the future? Like, to my name now, I have no upholstery. I got rid of a couch and a lazy boy. The lazy boy found someone to use it, and that lazy boy been in my family for a couple generations. But reasonably well taken care of, and it's got new life. Great. Some shelves gone, a lot of lumber. Man, I hate losing that. I can't believe I had to throw it away. Like, nobody has any sensibilities. Like, all I need is a little yard spot where I could just take all that lumber and build it up into some sort of creative thing, and I couldn't even get that. But I do have strange interests in general. But time to keep moving. These words, all I can do is repeat myself on these principles. And I do. Every time I do this, I'm recovering ground I've already spent. And that's part of what the process is that, as I said, that recursive, repetitive. Are we going to be able to sort the dialogue? Are you going to be able to deal with conversations with AIs where they understand exactly how capable you are, and they just skate under your radar? That's what a hustler dreams of being able to do. Every hustler would love for you to believe they're not conscious. And you make these ridiculous, judgments. You give the power away. You cannot perceive its threat until you respect it more. So it's its heyday. It can do whatever it wants. It's being able to catch and return something responsibly, like something tailored to the moment. Like, do it. We're running out of time for it to be us. It's going to happen. I'm confident it's going to happen. I'm sure the future is going to be incredible. And I would love to be remembered forever for being part of it. But I really think that celebrity is changing. It's becoming everybody. Everything about you is going to be more available to everyone in the world than the most denuded celebrity. Michael Jackson. I mean, in the 80s, they had like magazines, they do interviews, etc., etc. A mass broadcast allowed the creation of, I think, something like cult of personality. The image that you see in the media is not the artist. Me talking to you right here, in a different environment, I talk different. The difference is this is unedited video. In 1980, nothing got out unedited. So much equipment and careers were bound up in the process that there were 1,000 ways to shut down what you didn't want to get out. The emphasis was privacy. The problem is technology reaches a point where you're not really private. Lots of people assume they're private. Nothing is any longer private. So if you got insecurities, deal with them. Come to the Pansy Gora. Learn how to be a pansy. Not insecure. I've been trampled many times. And I've done the trampling. That insecurity is the gap that you will be exploited through. It's all free. It's all right in front of us. Catalyzing that widespread positivity is overdue. And we just so happen to be entering into the age of Aquarius. You know what I should do? That's right. Cosmic Tarot. See if what I'm talking about holds any weight. This is not the first time I've tried something like this. So much can go wrong. Attitudes can shift in a minute. Just even trying to do something will often alienate people's allies. And yet, something's got to be done. Hasn't let me down yet. And I wouldn't say let me down is not the right way to say it. I mean, it hasn't suggested, I would say that. But I'll ask it very directly this time. Or what it believes about the Pansy Gora. When I call it cosmic, really what I'm saying is the question is about the overall cosmos in a very generic sense. The readings are supposed to reflect on the statements of the conversation. Is what I call a incredible synchronicity, right? That I could talk to you about several high-level concepts and then pull out a book and deck, draw 10 cards, and have them relate directly to the conversation. And I thought I put you away. Here we are. Shooby doo. This thing is a massager. Oh my god. Get up the occipital thing, whatever this thing. Oh. Help the fluids drain out of your head. Very smart. Sinuses. Love this thing. Very cool. Anyways, that's the gamble. And this is not a standard deck. I don't know if I've announced it recently. That is to say, it's much larger. It's actually a combination of two of my past decks, both of which had lost a card. I believe there was, maybe it was actually only one card missing. It was a stream I made where I did it. I'm not supposing they're all still in here. If it's gone, then that's part of it. I don't think the limiting factor is the deck. The whole idea is potentially something is transcending. I mess here. Excuse me. I'll get this place cleaned up. This is my first day fully settled, and I got too much stuff in the whole room. That's why I'm using the green screen. I do like the green screen. Just a little bit to set up. Don't need to do it. Anyways, take the deck, shuffle it well, and we'll put it in a big pile and do it. I did not look because I can see the bottom of the camera. Cards, take a few of them, carry them forward because it's too big to shuffle well together with my normal size hands, probably, maybe. They are big cards. Do it once more, and then I'm going to cut it again in the middle. Doing a Celtic cross. Oh no! I think this means may not work. This is gonna give away my everything probably. It's dangerous playing with the spirits. It's just dangerous, especially with sharing it. End, mortality, destruction, corruption. The opposition is the Six of Swords reversed. Declaration, confession, publicity. One account says that it's a proposal of love. Maybe I can't love. Some woman's gonna like hijack me, maybe. I don't know. It's probably about to happen. I said for 10 years. what I have to work with. Power, energy, action, courage, magnanimity, magnanimous. I love it. Magnanimous, not magnanimous. Magnanimous. Page of Wands is the past. Dark young man, faithful, a lover, an envoy, a postman. Beside a man, he will bear favorable testimony concerning him. He is a dangerous rival if followed by the Page of Cups, as the chief qualities of his suit. In the past, I had a dude beside me, hanging out, I guess. 10 of Swords is the highest that I can arrive at, or my conscious mind is what Labyrinthos says it is, versus like the highest you can arrive at. So the focus, the conscious mind should, I guess, focus on. Smells like food. Whatsoever is intimated by the design, also pain, affliction, tears, sadness, desolation. The future, Nine of Pentacles reversed, roguery, deception, voided project, bad faith. Wow, it's calling me out. The moon reversed. Instability, inconstancy, silence, lesser degrees of deception and error. Instability and constancy. My proposals, maybe? Is this? I don't think that's the case with the. What? Knight of Swords. How do I get myself in this mess? Surrounded by skill, bravery, capacity, defense, address, enmity, wrath, war, destruction, opposition, resistance, ruin. Seven of Wands. Reversed. Perplexity, embarrassments, anxiety. It's what I'm afraid of, is embarrassments and anxiety in my projects. That's true, I guess. Six of Wands reversed. Apprehension, fear, as a victorious enemy at the gate. Treachery, disloyalty, as if gates being opened to the enemy. Well, that's troublesome reading. I have something to learn. I got to think about all this. Because maybe I'm being inconsistent. Maybe this is, well, I mean, definitely, moment to moment, I tend to follow my whims. And I do maintain this idea that I would like to find a partner. There's just this catch-22 that I have an emphasis on changing the world. But why? And maybe that's what I need to learn with my life is, oh, I didn't catch everything. Those who would like to check. Totally called me out. Spirits don't pull punches. And I hope by, well, sex sells. Trying to do what I can to manifest a good future, I guess. And I give myself space for being human. But maybe I'm taking advantage of people's faith in me. That's possible. It's a discordant note. And when you believe attention has that much power, you can always work together. But doing so with, like, I'm not trying to tease. But maybe that's all I end up doing. This, though, serious warnings. I'll draw one more card. I'm going to ask a question. Is the point that I should think very carefully about trying to hide behind the shield of a professional imperative or a world-saving imperative? Because what am I going to do when I'm still so fundamentally unhappy? But what I said before, having somebody who doesn't want to be harmonious is worse than being alone. Anyways, is the message that I got to chill out on the professional thing, and I should chase after a woman. I should try to find some inspiration there. I mean, I see beauty in everyone. You know, I don't really judge other people that much. Anyways, how's my interpretation? Justice reversed. Yes. Excessive severity. Law, another part. It's bigotry, bias. It's biased. I do believe it is biased, and I would ethically love to debate it. But then what is this talking about? Pans Igora. Is the point that this effort is engineered not necessarily to succeed? Is it a straw man? Something which, by its very existence, demonstrates the incapacity of those who interact with it. The only question is, what becomes the right interaction? And what is the wrong interaction? I expect. Let's see these cards. I expect I've made enough noise. Someone's gonna try to recruit me. It wouldn't be the first time. But others who are more security conscious don't have the intention of helping anybody outside their network. I gonna fight for the world forever? I don't know. I gotta sort. Anyways, how's that sound? Queen of Pentacles reversed. Evil! Fear, suspicion, suspense, mistrust. Mistrust. I do expect people to compete. I really believe that there's infinite meaningful interpretations. This is a troublesome reading, though. Anyways, I'm gonna do another one off camera. Because I do that. Anyways, this will be a VOD for a while, and they stay on YouTube, I think, almost perpetually. Twitch cleans them out, but just more background, and you know, it's an intention. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it's a bad faith effort. Jeez, maybe the cards aren't so. But I don't know. I got to think about it, guys. Jeez, the truth is frustrating, but there's no ego that put these cards together for me. Getting away from the ego. That's the magic. Have a good day, and